Hi everyone, Stephan here. I've been a trainer and a facilitator for almost 20 years. I've done countless workshops, face-to-face, mostly face-to-face, all around the world with lots and lots and lots of people. Really amazing experiences. I love these face-to-face workshops. But over the last couple of months, I have invested a number of hours, probably, I don't know, a couple of hundred hours, well, probably 100 hours or so. And quite some money to actually to analyze and to improve the way that we do virtual training. So how can we move away from the classic way that virtual training happens? And so I've done a lot of research. I've spent a lot of time on the internet. I got lots of equipment in to test and to try out. And I have to say the results are pretty amazing. And that's why I want to give you a quick impression today of how virtual training actually can look like. And let me tell you, there's a lot more to it than just a classic slide voiceover with a laptop camera filming up my nostrils, as we can see in many of the webinars. This is clearly not the image that we want to show. So let's assume we are in a sales training and we're talking about questioning techniques. So I'd use this kind of setup that you see here to introduce the topic. And please remember, this is all live. So anything that you're seeing now happens in this moment. Of course, you're watching a YouTube recording now, but as a participant in the live session, this is happening in that very moment. Of course, there's a bit of a setup required from my part, but as a participant, you won't notice that. You are not watching a recording, there's no post-production, there's no cuts, there's no color enhancers or anything like that. You are live in a workshop in Zoom, in WebEx, in Adobe Connect, Teams, Skype. There's quite a lot of them out there today. So whatever system you're using, you are going to see it live. So for the purpose of this demo, let's say I'm working with a financial services company today. So I want to use a backdrop or something that is a little bit closer to that industry. I can also use banners, I can also integrate logos, I can put in client logos, I can do anything that really helps to actually bring the message across. And this is something quite important for us to do. So anything is possible. So questioning techniques, bam, here they are. And I'm using these titles and everything to connect to my audience. I want to make it easy for them to learn. I want to make it easy for them to absorb information and to use that information in our practices. Of course, even though I'm not a big fan of it, but we also need to have slides or some kind of visuals every now and then. So, but we're not using the classic slides talk over. We're using something more exciting, such as this. Whoa, wait a second. What is exciting about this? Well, when you see a visual in front of you that helps you to follow the content, and at the same time, you see a person actually talking to you, live talking to you, your attention is automatically drawn to what's happening on the screen. Away from distractions, away from emails and phones and stuff like that, but right to the screen. So back to our sales training on questioning techniques. Here we are. So here we have, let's say, the 5 top question types that are successful in a sales conversation. And we would discuss them in the workshop. I may even ask participants to share some examples, questions that they have used before with their clients. And what did we do in the good old days when we asked participants in workshops for feedback? Exactly, we would record it on a flip chart. So why don't we do that right now? And here we are, in front of a flip chart, live in a training session. I've got my pen with me and I'm going to record examples and things that participants tell me directly on the flip chart. I can add something and we can have a real conversation about this. And this is happening live in the training session. So, coming back here to my questioning techniques, now we can continue and we can use those examples that our participants gave us in this module and in the next module. Oh, but wait a second, is there a question? Oh yeah, there's a question from a participant. Well, let's quickly refocus on the flip chart. Let's have a couple of questions here, let's discuss, and then let's move on to our next session or to our next module. Research has shown that audiences feel engaged when they see something moving on a screen. So, for example, I'm moving at the moment. There may be different camera views that are moving as well. The research also suggests that audiences are engaged when they see something big, something colorful on the screen. Maybe a graphic that shows the course concepts. These are usually really good attention getters, and they help the audience to actually follow the topic and keep their attention focused. And again, remember, this is happening live in the training, no post-production. We're using this to bring the concepts alive. We're doing this to show progress and to create diversity on the screen, so people are getting the right kind of attention where they should focus their attention. There may even be some topics that need a little bit more explanation. So let's talk about something where we focus on the speaker, like me in this case, and where we need to explain something in more detail. Did you actually know that one of the most powerful questions is the question why a client is doing what the client is doing? So anything around the background, anything around the reasons for their actions helps us to build powerful solutions for them. So when we're done with that explanation, we can always go back and we can go to other kind of visuals. Because let's be honest, if you're looking at me all the time, well, that can be a little bit boring. So why don't we have a look at a couple of slides that illustrate our concepts that we discuss in the workshop. So let's assume we want to build a strong connection with our clients, and we're using different ways to establish credibility. If we manage to connect to our clients with these elements of credibility, we actually connect to them better and we bring them into the sales conversation, so we start taking control over the trust building process in the actual workshop. So I'd like to take you through these now, and we can go into a practice. So after a bit of discussion, we want to go into, let's say, a breakout session. So bam, here we are, and we are doing a breakout session with our participants. So let's say you are in the breakout, you're coming back and you have a whiteboard to share, you have information to share, so we can all participate in the same activity and discuss. Now, aside from the moving images and slides, the breakouts, the whiteboard activities, sometimes it's helpful for participants to see actually how a particular model or how a particular diagram is built up, so that the learning topic maybe can be embedded into the bigger picture of the workshop. So here we can use something from our sketching option. So let's have a look at that. You can see here now that we're talking about our value selling module. And we've already covered a couple of different topics. For example, we spoke about our questioning techniques, and we've taken a couple of notes here. Now we spoke about building trust. So when we build trust, we said we want to increase the level of credibility. And we also say, well, in order to build trust, it is important to demonstrate a certain level of empathy. And there could be other areas that are related to building trust. So over time, we would add information to our model here, and then we could go into the next phase, we can go into the next phase, and across the workshop, we can start to build up a really nice overview, a really nice model here of our value selling workshop. So that is something that participants could receive as a PDF afterwards, something that they can download, and something that helps them stay on track. Now, I hope this gave you a bit of an insight into the style and into the dynamics of virtual facilitation or virtual training delivery. I'm looking forward, hopefully, to welcome you in one of the virtual classes one day. Until then, stay safe and thanks for watching.